My Lions. Hello. Typity typity type. This is the stream of me typing. I can type. Balon's playlist is good. Am I able to stream in 4K? Is that gonna be too... Ooh. Streaming output. I do want to kind of stream higher quality. It might delay the streams even more though. It's just we do so many post cuts that just don't look good. Gentlemen, welcome. Everybody let's start this off right, leaving a like. Remember, we are doing one giveaway per like, per 10 likes. We're at 9. So if the stream ended now, it would have been a stream with no giveaways. I'm thinking about doing a tier list, but to be honest, you guys didn't really give me any good ones to do. Nobody really made any. I'm definitely doing one tomorrow morning. That's good. Where's my I've got one freaking lo-fi playlist I've been using. Lazy? Who's lazy? People for not making the tier list for me? I agree. I did not do a weapon skin tier list, but if somebody made it, I would do that. Keyboard noises tier list. S tier, Mythandir. Did somebody make Lionheart? Lionheart Weapon the tier list. Just the riveting content you guys wanted. Okay, I'm looking right now. We have KOE members. I don't really want to do that one. We have an updated People of Lionheart's list, which I feel is a little redundant. Lionheart's houses list without the names of the houses. And to be honest, I need a consultant for that one. Does anybody have the weapon skin tier list that they can send to me? No? Okay. Well, I've kind of been wanting to do this Avatar The Last Airbender character ranker. I have been interested in this one. This could be good. Let me ask the chat. Let's get all this stuff out of here. Where is this? There we go. Let me ask the chat. Where did it go? There we go. I got the window capture working. Max doesn't know. Max is a casual fan of ATLA, man. Let's be honest. Okay, whoever wins this poll will decide if I do this tier list or not. Looks like the boys don't want this tier list right now. Well, I would like to do it at some point. Okay. Historical films tier list seems to be faring a little bit better. Okay. Oof. I might need to make my own tier list here because $170 historical movies. I don't really care about a lot of these. There's a movie about Socrates. Gosh, there's a lot of these. Holy, this would take me 3 hours. It would take me 3 freaking hours. I'll do it. Fine. I'll freaking do it, man. Fine. Jeez. This is gonna be a minute, boys. This is gonna be a minute. Okay. And is there a way to... My question is there a way to, like, remove movies? Have I seen most of these? I've seen a lot of these. Some of these are shows, though, which is not great. So that's not what I'm trying to do. And I'd rather do a separate historical shows one. Can I, Yeah, a lot of these are too freaking modern. I agree. I'm gonna do a separate one for historical shows, so just keep that in mind. Whoever made this did go all out, though. I'm gonna just tier list ones I know, so I'm gonna make a template. Okay. HBO's Rome is S tier. Alright, don't worry. I've already got a list, so this won't take too long. Actually, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to spend the whole freaking stream looking up freaking images for movies. There's got to be one that's better than that. Okay, we're just gonna use this one, and I'm not gonna rate a bunch of them because I don't know what they are. Okay, we're doing historical films tier list. So we've got a lot of films here. A lot of these are TV shows. I'm not going to be rating TV shows. I'm not going to be rating... Turn the music down a little bit. I'm not going to be rating TV shows. I am not going to be rating movies I have not seen. And I'm not going to be rating foreign films that I haven't seen. So, also, there's going to be ones that are like recent. The Social Network. I'm not interested in modern war films and stuff. This is for like, has to be 50 years prior to the present, maybe even 100. So like World War II might even be too recent because that's its own genre. And if I'm going to make a tier list of World War II films, okay, World War II is the cutoff. I will include World War II films, but nothing after. All right, let's get going. First one I've seen... 300. 300 is going in S tier for me. This is one of the most controversial historical films ever made. Historians a lot of times hate this film. A lot of people think this film is totally ahistorical, and this tier list is not about the one-to-one historicity of any given film. This tier list is about enjoyability, storytelling within a historical context. And because of that reason, stylistically, thematically, 300 knocks it out of the park. 300 is not likely going to be at the top of S tier, but as far as movies that made an impact on the culture, the acting's really good. The writing, maybe a little cheesy at times, but very epic, very masculine. Just an amazing film. Also, if you watch 300, I did recently, you'll notice there's not they don't waste a single second of airtime. There's not a single second of airtime that is wasted with 300. It's all contributes towards forwarding the story and the plot. A lot of times these historical movies can get caught up in themselves, and it's just not great. And so for that reason, well, that and many reasons, I don't view 300 as like a bad movie. Like a lot of like people would say, oh, it's, you know, it's not historical. That's not what actually happened. Yeah, but the legend of Thermopylae is owed a legendary epic movie, and this movie delivers totally. And yes, there were 3,000 Athenians at Thermopylae. Yes, there were so many exaggerated beasts and things that they fought. But if you're a Greek living at the time you heard this story, this is the myth of 300. This is the myth of the 300 Spartans. And for that reason, it's S tier because Zack Snyder, just really delivers on this. Next, we have Alexander. Alexander is somewhere between C and D for me. There's a lot of things to like about Alexander, and there's a lot of things to hate about it. I think overall, it's going to be like bottom of C tier for me. There's just so many things that are just not necessary. And speaking of all the things I liked about 300, Alexander is just so full of itself in a lot of areas. It's like we didn't need to know about Alexander's intimate sex life that's been projected onto him by modern people. We didn't need to know about like just so many of the trivial little points. And like this movie, it's hard to do a movie about Alexander. And I think Ridley Scott also ran into that issue with Napoleon. It's just too... like, you try to put the life of Alexander into a movie, it might just be a trap. Whereas 300 is a self-contained story. Like, you know, they didn't need to show you every aspect of Leonidas' journey to Thermopylae. They give you a great part of his character just through the Roman culture and his stoicism portrayed throughout the film. Where with Alexander, I wonder if it could have been better to start the movie midway through his career and just do flashbacks to give pertinent information, but it just is too much. And yeah, and it's just a little like the idea that Alexander's may or may not have been a homosexual being like the core part of the story is just not that interesting to me, whether or not it was true. So I would rather they make a movie that's just centered on what Alexander accomplished, because let's face it, this is antiquity, and we don't know a lot about these people through just antiquity, but we do know Alexander was charismatic, perhaps the greatest leader of all time, and I think he deserved better than this film. With that being said, I still enjoy watching this film, and that's why I probably would keep it at a D tier. Hannibal, haven't seen. Gosh, there's so many movies on this list. Again, I'm not doing TV shows. If I was, Rome would be the top. I haven't seen The Passion. I really should. I've heard it's very good. Next, we have Gladiator. I think people are gonna really hate me for this take. Gladiator's A tier historical film. Russell Crowe's performance is brilliant. The script is brilliant. It's a great story. It's very enjoyable. It'd be like bottom S, top of A. How could Gladiator not be an S tier? Well, it's not even my favorite Ridley Scott movie. Welcome Soccer in it. It's not even my favorite Ridley Scott movie. This movie's almost too self-contained. And the stuff they put in about the Roman politics is just blatantly wrong. And again, I'm willing to excuse historical inaccuracies when it moves the story forward, but it doesn't necessarily in Gladiator. I would have loved to see way more Marcus Aurelius screen time. I thought his actor was brilliant, though I get the point with it. I don't really have that many critiques of this film to justify it being out of S tier. It doesn't move me in the same way that many people claim it does, and to the same level of my other S tier movies. So for that reason, it's gonna be low. It's gonna be high A, low S. I may move it. So I know that that's a controversial take. I have seen Red Cliff, which is strange. It's like a foreign Chinese movie. Red Cliff is good, actually. I actually think it's worth watching. It's kind of funny in like a hilarious foreign way, where if you're just not into foreign films and you watch it, you might be like, okay, this is strange. But it is pretty good. I remember one scene specifically with like arrows. They're like one arrow short, and the guy's about to kill himself because he's one arrow, or he's got like one bundle of arrows he's got to deliver to the battle, and he's like about to kill himself, and the arrows like barely come at the last second. Kind of like a goofy moment. It's not that it's a kind of forgettable movie, but it's worth watching. Next we have The Last Kingdom, which is a TV show, but I'm going to be reviewing The Last Kingdom's movie adaptation, which I think is 7 Kings Must Die, or 5 Kings Must Die. And although that is a very good show, the movie really underdelivered, and I don't even know if it was needed. Like, the movie was so, and the series kind of went out in the worst possible way with that movie. I love Uhtred, I love the characters. It's a great historical show, like an A tier historical show for me. We really enjoyed watching it. The movie did not hit to me, and maybe D tier is unfair. Hard to put it below Alexander, but I really didn't like the way it delivered. The movie just, sometimes it's better not to make something. Sometimes it's better to just not. That's kind of how I feel about that. So that's my take on that. Pulling up I actually watch movies and rank them every time I watch one, so I'm gonna go ahead and again Next one I've seen. Vikings, I've seen a little bit of it, but again, that's not a movie. The Northman, and The Northman's going in S tier for me. This is about as perfect of a historical film you can get as far as setting and adapting a culture correctly. And one of the reasons I think you could actually justify Northman being S and Gladiator being A is when you watch HBO's Rome, you actually understand this is a different culture. This is a different culture you're watching. Like, I don't understand Roman morality. They are much different than our morality today, and they portray that in Rome very well. And there's a very famous scene in Rome when he's dragging a slave through the market, and you're like shocked that he's like just dragging a child slave with no repercussions or feelings. Gladiator does not portray Roman, like, it doesn't feel, it's a great story, but it doesn't feel like actually this is what the Romans would have done. It feels a little bit too much of our own Judeo-Christian values incorporated into what should be a very pagan Rome. However, the Northmen, there is nothing about our modern values in the Northmen. They are shown as totally brutal, warlike, hyper masculine. They're killing priests, they're plundering, they're doing all the things Vikings like to do, and it's not shown in a glorified way. It's shown in a brutally honest way. And for that reason, the Northman is S tier, because you feel like you actually, when you're watching the Northman, you feel like you're watching a documentary that's been filmed with excellent cinematography. It's so good. The acting is great. It's very minimal dialogue. It's based on Hamlet. And it's just really good. I need to rewatch it, but it was an experience seeing that in theaters. And as far as somebody understanding historical what it might have been like to be in a historical time, the Northman does a great job. And I think 300, it's way more stylized, less like, you wouldn't feel like it's a documentary. But as far as like, what are the values of this time? Like, how do people actually feel? The Spartans feel they can never retreat, they never surrender. The Vikings are just plundering. It's all about strength. And it's just portrayed in a really excellent way. That's coming from somebody who loves Judeo-Christian values, so that, you can tell I just like an honest portrayal. Next we have Braveheart. And there's nothing really needing to be said about this one. Braveheart's easily S tier. Now I don't have it in my ratings, so I can't tell if I've rated it higher than 300 or not. 300 I gave a 9.5 out of 10. The Northman I gave a 9.1. But I would imagine I would give Braveheart, I might even give it a slight edge over 300. I think they're both equally historically inaccurate. But God, Braveheart is Mel Gibson's masterpiece, and the time that he did it, and just the acting and the speeches, and it's just so well done. It's just so good. And Braveheart, it does deserve S tier. I'm kind of have it tied with 300. I can't choose, so let's just pretend they're together. I might need to make a double S tier here. It's incredible film, and everybody knows it, and it's Mel Gibson's masterpiece for sure. Robert the Bruce. Did I see that? Was this the one? No, that was called Outlaw King. This is different. I haven't seen this one. Marco Polo show, I've seen that. The King. Oh, there's not enough room. There's not enough room. I have to make a double S tier, unfortunately. I have to make a double S tier. I have to say, What did I rate The King? I'm just gonna go. I have to stop. I gave The King a 9.2, so above The Northman, and that's fair. It is S tier. The King is a fantastic film. Up there with The Northman is one of the best films to come out recently as far as historical adaptation. Just incredible acting by Timothée Chalamet, and even Robert Pattinson is in there. It's great. And again, it really actually like you feel like you're in the medieval world when you're watching this movie. A little bit after the time of Lionhearts. It's a great film. The King, I definitely recommend watching it, and I would give it a slight edge over The Northman just for its story. Another Shakespearean. It's sort of Henry V, but with different dialogue. The King is excellent. Acting's excellent. Story's excellent. Solid S tier for The King. Next, we are going to keep going down the list. I've seen Shakespeare in Love. Shakespeare in Love's a good film. It's great. It's romantic. It's a good watch with your girlfriend or your wife. Might even be low A. I really enjoyed Shakespeare in Love. I'm not huge into romance, which is probably keeping it out of A or S for me. I remember really enjoying it, so it's going to be a high B, low A for me. Shakespeare in Love's a great film, and it does a good job showing you that period of England. The costumes are great, although I don't like that period of costume. They portrayed it very well. Where were we? Maybe I'm more of a historical film noob than I thought. Although some of these, I should be able to rate one of these Japanese ones if it's in here, which I really enjoyed. I forget what the name of it was. It's oh yeah, Throne of Blood. Is Throne of Blood on here? If it's in Japanese, I won't be able to tell the title, so somebody maybe can help me. But Throne of Blood, I would definitely want to rank. Another good movie, another good show, John Adams. I might do shows right after this. We have Napoleon, which just came out. Napoleon. This is going to be controversial as well. Napoleon is... I came out of it, I was like, that's like an 8. But the more I thought about it, the worse it got. I do enjoy aspects of Napoleon. It's just another example of sort of Ridley Scott getting more full of himself with age. Everything they did right, he did right earlier in his career. He kind of got wrong here. In a lot of ways. But it's still a watchable film. And I think I'd put it in the top of C tier, to be honest. Top of C tier for Napoleon. It's not the total disaster people would like to make you think it was, and yet, like, Napoleon's supposed to be charismatic. I mean, this guy landed on the shores of France and inspired his men to take him back from exile, and that speech was just totally bland. And it's so hard to say, but I just don't think that the casting was right for Napoleon. I mean, as much as everybody loves, I mean, take the performance that he had in Gladiator and then compare it to Napoleon. It's just like a 180. He's weird. He's not very charismatic. It's just not great. Despite him being a great actor, we all know he is. It just might not have been the right casting choice, and he's pretty old. Napoleon's supposed to be young at the time it's set. So, in my opinion, solid C tier, but nothing more. Doesn't offend me as much as the Last Kingdom movie did. I came out of it enjoying it, but it definitely was not what it should have been, or could have been, for that matter. Oh, wait. Why is Napoleon on here twice? I think I got the wrong one. Okay, this is the one it should have been. I've not seen this one, so we'll get it out of here. Let's see. Is Throne of Blood on here? There's a lot of Japanese movies on here. It doesn't look like it. I'll keep looking. Keep reminding me. Throne of Blood. Oh, by the way, Have we reached? Oh, we're at 20 concurrents. I'm going to do the first giveaway. We are doing the first giveaway to break up this tier list. So editor's note, this giveaway does not need to be included in the cut of the tier list. And free weapon skin of your choice starting now. Good luck. I'll be right back and then we'll choose the winner. Here we are. And the winner is Banks. Congratulations to Banks. You have won a free weapon skin of your choice. And we will be doing more giveaways because we are at 20 likes. If we get to 30, we'll be doing even more. Twitch as well. Twitch will be giving a giveaway. Getting a giveaway. So if you're not on Twitch, make sure you're there and chatting so you have a chance at winning. Where are we? Past John Adams. There's like 3 Napoleon movies. The Young Karl Marx. Haven't seen that one. 12 Years a Slave. This is a great film. 12 Years a Slave. Definitely, I'd say top of B tier. It's hard to say this. It was kind of forgettable. I don't think about it often, but I do remember it being very impactful. It's, again, a very brutal look at chattel slavery in the South. I think that it's just a great film. I liked it a lot. Maybe it's slightly overrated, but I don't think so. I'd have to rewatch it. I think it's very good, very emotionally impactful. Yeah, it was a big hit in Hollywood at the time, that's for sure. And I'm not. It wasn't one of my favorites, so B tier I think is solid. Glory. Glory's a great film. Glory is definitely A. This is about the Civil War and the first, I think, Black Battalion or regiment to fight for the United States in the Civil War. Excellent cast. I think Morgan Freeman and Denzel are in it. Great cast. Definitely worth a watch. I remember watching it a long time ago and thinking it was very good. But it's due for a rewatch for sure. Great movie. This list is insanely long. Pocahontas, does that... I've seen it, but I don't want to put it on this list. I feel like it's... I mean, I guess I'll put it on here. I think it's like a low B, maybe a C. I think it's like a low C for me. It's not that great. Have seen Hidalgo, and my love of Viggo Mortensen is gonna put this in B tier, but it's honestly, that might be a little bit high. It's a good movie. It's worth watching. I think it's above Shakespeare in Love. It's a good movie. I like it a lot. And Viggo's just a great actor. He just carries. He carries for sure. See, like, they have a movie called Austerlitz. That's how insane it is to try to make a movie, like one movie about Napoleon and try to capture everything. It's just impossible, I think. I think I've seen Gettysburg. Yeah, but I don't remember it well enough. I've seen, there's great scenes from Gettysburg for sure that I've seen. So, Lincoln. Lincoln's a great movie. I think just below Gladiator. Lincoln's amazing. It's great acting, great script. It's very entertaining. It's not very, there's not a ton of violence in it. Most historical movies, there's a lot of violence. It's not that violent, but it is very captivating. And there is violence, you know, in it. It's just not the point. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of masculine historical movies because I'm looking at Titanic and I didn't expect it to be on here, but I guess of course it is. Gangs of New York. Oh, I almost missed this one. Gangs of New York's really good. Maybe even above Lincoln. It's like too long. It's too long to be above Lincoln, but it's very good. Same lead as well as Lincoln. Gangs of New York is very good. Titanic. Haven't seen it in a long time, but it's like kind of like Shakespeare in Love, but maybe a little bit worse for me. It's good. You know, I'm not like into girly flicks really, so it's good. Watchable. One of Leo's starting roles. The Last Emperor. Have I seen that? I think I have. No, I don't think. Maybe I haven't. Okay, Lawrence of Arabia. That's going straight into A tier. Yeah, even above Lincoln. Lawrence of Arabia is great. It's really epic. It's very long, and it can get dull at times for people, but I think it's very good. It might be showing its age a little bit. I try not to use that too much, especially in history movies, tier list, but Lawrence of Arabia is very good. Not seen Hitler, The Rise of Evil. I didn't see Killers of the Flower Moon. So this is pretty updated because that just came out. I have seen Public Enemies. I like Public Enemies quite a bit. I think I'd put it right solid in B tier. It's very good. Sort of about criminals of that time. Although I haven't seen it recently enough. I think I might put it below Hidalgo just because it's been too long. I need an update. Balto. Well, I rated Pocahontas, so I guess I have to rate Balto, and Balto is good. Balto's a good movie. It's solid B tier. I don't know why. I don't know. Is it too recent? I think it's set in the 1800s. No, Balto's good. Balto's solid. Bonnie and Clyde. I did see this. This was recent, wasn't it? No. I'm thinking of something else. Wind Rises. I like how there's just a movie called Hitler! Exclamation point. Interesting. Tolkien, The Aviator. God, did I see The Aviator? No. But Tolkien I did see in theaters, and it was just very underwhelming. And I love J.R.R. Tolkien. Huge fan. Underwhelming movie. Just, I mean, maybe low B. Yeah, low B. Just underwhelming. Underwhelming, kind of forgettable. The King's Speech was very good. I think The King's Speech is actually better than Lincoln and better than Lawrence of Arabia. A tier for sure. King's Speech is great. And that's the cutoff. World War II. We're not doing anything after that. Maybe like the 50s, because I do want to rate one more. Now, World War II era, so yeah, okay, that's fine. The Untouchables is really good. Untouchables is great. Low A tier for sure. I get this movie mixed up with Public Enemy sometimes, but The Untouchables about the FBI agents that brought down, or maybe it wasn't the FBI, but whoever brought down Al Capone. It's a very good gangster movie. Really good. Pianist is very solid. Another one of those kind of is like 12 Years a Slave, where it's almost like a little overrated, and it's hard to even say that because of the subject matter. But, you know, when you take something like this compared to Schindler's List, it's like, well, Schindler's List is way better. So it can't be S tier, and it doesn't feel like A tier either. It's a B. It's a good movie. It's worth a watch. Definitely harrowing to watch. Darkest Hour, I really enjoyed. It kind of feels like Lincoln. Like these kind of feel similar. But again, I think I like Darkest Hour more. I even liked it more than King's Speech. Darkest Hour was very good. They've made some good ones in the last 10 years. It hasn't totally fallen off. Dunkirk. People are going to say Dunkirk's S tier. I liked it a lot, but it's just like... It's visually impressive. It's not the most captivating film from a story perspective. So it goes in B tier for me. I need to rewatch it. That might feel unfair. It might feel unfair to not put Dunkirk in A. I know I'm on Christopher Nolan's naughty list, but you know, that it is what it is. That's just how I feel about it. So in comes the hate in the chat. How dare I rate Dunkirk lower than A? Tora, Pearl Harbor. I've seen Pearl Harbor maybe once a long time ago. It's like a C. It's okay. Nothing that good. Could be better than Alexander, which isn't saying much. Where am I? Did I miss Patton? No. Schindler's List is S tier for sure. Schindler's List is, first of all, the style. This is Spielberg's best. It's maybe below Northman just because it's so painful to watch. It's not an enjoyable film, but it's amazing. And just the stylistic choices with the girl in the red dress. Liam Neeson just knocks it out of the park. The acting, like the sadistic SS officer, I forget the actor, but he just does an amazing job, and it's just a very, very good film. Everybody should watch Schindler's List at least once. It's incredible, and the black and white is such an excellent choice. Fun fact, you might have seen this talk on YouTube, but there's a lot of videos about how Spielberg actually made Schindler's List and Jurassic Park in the same year, which is insane to think about. Jurassic Park does not count as a historical film, though. No, dinosaurs are very old. Patton also goes in S tier. Patton is the best, probably, World War II movie that's ever been made. It's very good. And it's old, and the fact that it survives its age, just an amazing performance by the lead. And it's just very good, and I really appreciate Patton, for sure. Downfall, great film. It's gonna go in A tier, above Lawrence of Arabia. Downfall is about Hitler's final days. It's where the famous scene in German where he's in his war room yelling and he's taking off his glasses. It's a very good film. You can kind of see him descend into madness. Need to rewatch. Okay, The Imitation Game. Some of these titles are so small. Imitation Game was good. I mean, very forgettable though, so it's going to be in C tier. Need to rewatch it. Hacksaw Ridge was great. It was really good. It's going to go top of B tier for me. Needs a real watch. It's a great film. Good performances, excellent story, good film. Another great one by Mel. Emperor, what does this say? Emperor. I need to like zoom in this much to even see what these say. Letters from Iwo Jima, right next to Flags from Our Fathers. I'm pretty sure that both of those were directed by Clint Eastwood. One's the Japanese perspective, and Low S for what? Which one? How delayed is the stream? Which one's Low S? Letters from Iwo Jima is very good. Feels like a low A tier. Very good World War II film. I need to rewatch Hacksaw. Gandhi, very solid. I remember it did a very good job. I think it's a low A tier for me. That movie won a lot of awards. Oppenheimer. This one's recent. Oh, Enemy at the Gates. Is that the one? Jake, did we watch that one together? Is that the one? Oh, that's a great film. It's all in Russian and German, I think. It's a really good film. Feels right about there for me. A tier. It's set in Stalingrad, and it's a battle cat and mouse between snipers. What do you think, Jake? Do you think A is appropriate? Let's see what Jake thinks. He saw it with me. Yeah, A tier. I knew he would agree. Death of Stalin. I watched this recently. I honestly remembered it better than it was. Where did I just put it? Oh no. Please tell me it just went back to where it was. You like it more than Gangs of New York. Okay. I don't know where I put Death of Stalin. Where did it go? There's also just not like this. They're missing films. Like they don't have. It's, yeah, Death of Stalin is lost. It's not getting rated. Okay. The Green Book, too recent. Not going to rate it, but it was very good. Goodfellas, too recent. Not going to rate it. Excellent. We Were Soldiers, Vietnam. Gosh, if I can't rate Vietnam movies... I mean, did I skip anything? I think I should be able to rate Vietnam movies. Okay. We Were Soldiers. Ah! Oh my god. I just did it again. Okay, here it is. Okay. We found it. Nobody panic. Okay. We Were Soldiers I really liked. I think I liked it better than Hacksaw. Another good one from Mel. Another good one from Mel. Is Kingdom of Heaven even in here? That's the problem. The First Man is actually very forgettable. It's like bottom of C tier. Like, it was good. Maybe high C, like, was good when it came out, but it's just like I haven't thought about it a single time since. So, C tier. Society in the Snow just came out. I heard that was good. I haven't seen it. Theory of Everything, haven't seen it. Seems a little bit like hubris. A lot of these are way too recent. I've seen A Beautiful Mind, and it's definitely low A tier. It's good. Okay, I'm gonna go through everything, make sure I've rated everything from this, and then I have a bunch of additions of my own that are not in here, that should be in here, and it's very embarrassing that it's not. I'm gonna zoom in and make sure we got everything. Chosen's a great show, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it. There's Outlaw King. Okay. Outlaw King. Okay, Outlaw King is great. Outlaw King is very good. It's not nearly as good as The King, but it is good. It's like bottom A tier. Yeah, I think right there is good. I think that's appropriate. I have not seen The Passion, unfortunately. I really need to. I've probably seen more of these Chinese... What was that, Jake? What was that hilarious movie about the Chinese that found that Roman legion that we watched together? That was just like embarrassingly bad. We need to watch. I need to put that on here for sure. Don't let me forget. What is this? The Blue Legion? Okay, I found Death of Stalin. I'll lose it. Death of Stalin. It was funny. It was less funny than I remembered. Low B tier. I would recommend it to somebody, but probably just barely. Oh, 300 Rise of an Empire. This is actually a D tier. Everything that was right about 300, they failed in Rise of an Empire as a sequel, which is really unfortunate. And it's about my favorite historical battle, which is the Battle of Salamis. They just did not do it justice at all. Like, they completely failed in that movie. There's so many movies missing, it's kind of hard to even... Like, and yet they've included so many movies I haven't seen, so it's tough. Yeah, a lot of these I'm just not going to rate. Okay. So we are up to date as far as this list. But we're missing some of my favorites, and that's really a shame. So we're not going anywhere. We're going to actually make sure that my favorites are on here, and some of my least favorites, which are not included either. So we are going to add those now. In the meantime, while I prepare this, what I'm going to do is do our second giveaway, since we are at 21 likes. I'm going to do our second giveaway. And I'm going to give you guys another weapon skin. And you're going to give me some time to set all this up. Like, they didn't include the pay trade either, which is kind of crazy. Nor All Quiet on the Western Front. They barely included any World War II movies, which is kind of crazy. No Saving Private Ryan. Does Kung Fu Panda count as a historical movie? Friend wants to know. What about Zootopia? Is Zootopia a historical movie? Oh, Chicken Run. Now he's trolling, guy. Chat, he's trolling. Oh, they're missing so many good ones, man. So crazy. Oh my god, how did we miss all these? But I have these written down. Oh my god. This is literally a crime. Whoever made this list, I'm going to have words with. I mean, does the Green Knight count as historical? It's almost too fantasy, right? It's like an Arthurian legend. I might rate it. We'll see. They didn't have Master and Commander? Almost done. It's gonna be a lot of high on the list, though. Like, I think Raiders of the Lost Ark has to be included, right? Like Indiana Jones movies. I'm not gonna include them. It's too... like, I'm including a lot of historically set movies, but it just doesn't feel right to put Indiana Jones in there. Okay. Alright. That's good for now. Although... there's also one more. Okay. I've got more. Worry not, we are back. So, the giveaway entries are entered, and we will be announcing the winners at the end of the stream. Oh wait, there's also one more, which is like I might remember some more. We'll see. I've got a bunch of files now. And I don't even want to move these all the way up. It's kind of sad. I have to... Okay. First one we have is 7 Years in Tibet. Did I include Last Samurai down here? Yeah. 7 Years in Tibet. And that is going in bottom of A tier. I really like it. It's not as good as I remembered, like just the story, but it's very good. After that, we have 310 to Yuma. And 310 to Yuma is going to be our first entry into double S tier. The remake of 310 to Yuma with Russell Crowe and Christian Bale is an all-time great movie. The themes and the story interwoven in 310 to Yuma is just incredible. About masculine sacrifice, just incredible acting, incredible story. And I really love this movie. And, this movie is one of the only movies that actually brings me to tears when I watch it. It's incredible. The ending sequence with the train is just all time, for sure. I could talk about 310 to Yuma all day. Apocalypto, solid A tier. Another Mel Gibson, good one. I would even put it above Lawrence. I would even put it probably right here below Darkest Hour. It's a great film. And even though the historical stuff is just like really weird, it's like half Mayan, half Aztec, it's really quite a good story. That's why I'm not an armchair historian that just is gonna think a movie's ruined because it's not a perfect interpretation. Dracula Untold. Here we go. Where are we gonna put Dracula Untold? Dracula Untold is bottom of D tier. It's really goofy and cheesy. It's kind of worth watching in a funny way, but the acting's really bad, and my wife and I laughed about that movie quite a lot. It just was really ridiculous. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Empire of the Sun, I also put this in D tier. Like, it's one of those movies you watch it, you're like, okay, this is good, and then it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. It's like if Lawrence of Arabia was bad. It's so long, and nothing actually like gets accomplished, and like not much of a story is told. It's interesting look into the time period, but other than that, I think the soundtrack was good. Yeah, it just is like so long, man. Maybe D tier is a little unfair. I'll put it at the top of D tier. It's just too long. Why is Godzilla in here? Why is Godzilla -1 in a history movie tier list, you might be asking? Well, the reason is because this is the best interpretation of post-war Japan I have ever seen. The story is incredible. It might be above 310. I need to look. I saw this movie in theaters twice. It should have been nominated for Best Picture. Okay, it's below 310, but it's such a good look at the post-war Japan period. The story's incredible. There's some really incredible elements there. And it's kind of like it's a drama set in post-war Japan with Godzilla as a character. It's not really a Godzilla movie, in my opinion. It's more about a man's struggle against himself, and I think the look at post-war Japan and the look at Tokyo, you think it's egregious. Yeah, well, you know what, Jake? That's why it's not your tier list. Godzilla -1 looks at post-war Japan in a very unique and cool light, and for that reason, it's in my tier list, and it's double S. 100%. The Pale Blue Eye I really liked, and this is like a low S, high A for me. I think it's going to be above Gladiator, but high A. Pale Blue Eye was very good. Christian Bale did an excellent job. Excellent job. Again, like this one feels weird to put the Sherlock Holmes. Only one. Did I only put one of them in here? No, I'll put these at last. I don't know. Django Unchained, very good, solid B tier. Can't say it's as good as Pianist or 12 Years a Slave, but very entertaining, very good. The last I'm not ready to talk about The Last Duel yet. I gotta save that for later. Throne of Blood is amazing. It's a Japanese movie made in the 50s. It's all in black and white. It's very good, very worth the watch. I could see people who are just like love film. It's a great one to watch, and it shocked me a lot when I watched it. I was not expecting it to be that good, and it was amazing. It was really good. The Prestige. This is just like set in historical times, but it's helped magicians. Again, it doesn't really feel right on this list, but it is set in that time, and it is very good. It's an excellent movie, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. All Quiet on the Western Front. This just came out, and it's going up near the top of A tier. It's a very good look into the horrors of World War I, especially on the German side, which is something that's just not talked about that much. And the lead does a great job, and it's just horrific in an amazing way. You know what else isn't on this list? 1917. I can't believe they forgot so many. I will add 1917. Where is it? Inglourious Bastards. It's good. It's like a B tier. I've seen it many times. It's got some funny scenes. It's not quite as good as Django, but it's good. I'm not like the huge... I like Tarantino a lot. His movies are good, but they're not... They've never reached amazing status for me as far as S or SS. Here. Over La Vida è Bella is very good. I don't know why this one's the Spanish version, but definitely A tier movie. Filmed in Italian. It's very heartwarming and wholesome, although also very hard to watch. Dances with Wolves is Lost to the Void. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. And I lost it again. Okay, here it is. Jake could talk to you about Ip Man for freaking 30 minutes. He saw all of them. Dances with Wolves is A tier. It used to be one of my favorites. I look on it back less fondly, but I think it's A tier. Where did I rank The Green Knight? It's not rated, but it was... I really loved The Green Knight when I saw it. And I think it's an S tier. The Green Knight is really good. Yeah, I think The Green Knight is solid S tier. Why does The Last Duel keep creeping up on me? I'm not ready to talk about this yet. Okay, next, are we ready? I don't know if we're ready yet. The Last Samurai, all the way up to the top of double S tier. This is the perfect historical movie to me, as far as just does everything right. It's hard to put anything above 310 to Yuma, but I just like the sense of honor, the look into Japanese culture, the performance from Tom Cruise, the performance from the actor that plays the Emperor, and the main samurai is just outstanding. And it's an amazing story and an amazing film. Well worth the watch. Well worth the watch. Last Samurai is gonna be the top of this list, most likely. Master and Commander. Another amazing film. And a lot of these I put in are great because they missed. I don't know how you could ever leave Master and Commander and Last Samurai off this list. Master and Commander is S tier, for sure. S tier for sure. Troy? Troy is like bottom of S tier for me. I love Troy. Maybe even above Master and Commander. It's like right there. I think this movie, again, it gets the same flack that 300 gets, and for all the wrong reasons. It's a great story. If it's not one-to-one to the Iliad, so be it. One-to-one to the Iliad would not fit on screen. Just would not. Maybe as a TV show, but the performance from Hector, I don't know the actor's name, brilliant. Brad Pitt, probably his best role ever. Incredible. So this is where the debate comes in, as far as I'm gonna wait, actually. We'll wait for Kingdom of Heaven. Rob Roy, awesome film, A tier, similar to Braveheart, but a little bit different, and it's a great film. Rob Roy's excellent. The Great Escape, again, good film. It's a little dated, but I'd put it at maybe the bottom of A tier. Well worth the watch. Dragon Blade, this is gonna go into F for me. It's just so incoherent and in all the wrong ways. It just does not. It's such a cool idea to have like a Roman Empire legion trapped in China. It's just so bad the way they did it, and the acting is just terrible. Life of Brian is really funny, and I don't know why I put it in here, but I did. It's hilarious. It's set in Israel in you know, the time of Christ, and it's very funny, and you know, there's just some great quotes from Brian. Dragon Blade robbery, he says. Wasn't that your buddy's favorite movie? Next we have The Patriot. I struggle, like, I don't think The Patriot's as good as Gladiator, but it's a top A tier movie. It's very good. There's a lot of A's here because I really like historical films. It's my favorite genre, so if it's in a historical setting, it's already going to get much better than I would originally rate it. Saving Private Ryan. You know, I think Saving Private Ryan's great. It's great enough to be an A tier. It doesn't quite do it like Patton does for me. I'd say like low mid A tier. It's a good movie. Let's get these Sherlock Holmes titles out of the way. They're both A tier, especially the first one. The look at Victorian London is really good. It's very entertaining plot. I really liked it. I think they're underrated. I really hope they do a third one. I think the second one may be slightly worse than the first, but they're very good. Okay, 1917. Good. Overrated. Not nearly as good as All Quiet. I think it's in B tier for me. Just at the top. Very well done. Not quite A tier. And you might be able to say that about 7 Years into Bed as well. I think that's fair. And, well, we're going to do Last Duel first. The Last Duel is probably my least favorite historical movie I've ever seen. It really kind of set off the alarm bells for me about Ridley Scott recently. He has totally lost it. And the reason this movie is so low is because it started so good. The first 2/3 of this movie are compelling and interesting, well casted. I don't enjoy the subject matter, and I really don't like the ending. It just totally ruins. Honestly, one line from this movie, which just says the truth, totally ruins the intellectual pursuit in question and just kind of shows the hand of the director and the writing. And so they do 3 different perspectives of the telling of a story of a woman who was raped in medieval France. And essentially they tell the husband's side, the rapist side, and the wife's side. And it just gets worse and worse as it goes on. They destroy Matt Damon's character. There's not a single redeemable character, and the whole movie doesn't have one likable character. It's a movie without a protagonist. You can't make a movie without a protagonist. I mean, I guess the woman's the protagonist. She's not unlikable, but she's just not likable. And there's no, like, it's like a trend with modern movies now where if there's a marriage or something, it's like, the wife has to hate the husband if it's a historical marriage, and the sex has to be unenjoyable, and she hates everything about it, and it's totally transactional, and there's no love, and it's just not a good movie, man. And it sucks because it could have been. It could have been. With like this movie is 3 adjustments away from an A tier or a high B tier. That's how much like just the editing screwed it. It's really quite interesting. And Kingdom of Heaven, SS tier. I've had it historically at the top of S tier. Now, keep this in mind. This is director's cut only. The theatrical version might not even be A tier. Director's cut Kingdom of Heaven is Ridley Scott's best work. It's better than Gladiator. It's better than his other films. And I have to say, this is like 2 polar opposites, Kingdom of Heaven and The Last Duel. I've seen Last Samurai more recently, and it's feeling more like Last Samurai is above Kingdom of Heaven. And if you haven't seen the director's cut and you've seen the theatrical version, you might think this is an insane take. But anybody who's seen the director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven knows how good of a film it is. I look back on it a little less fondly than I would have a few years ago. The setting to me is perfect. This is my favorite setting. Battle of Hattin, Siege of Jerusalem, awesome. Liam Neeson's performance, amazing. Orlando Bloom, very well acted in an unconventional way from him. He's a lot quieter, and well, I think that's when he's at his best, actually. When you overuse Orlando Bloom, when you try to make him overact, I think he gets exposed a little bit, maybe a little bit in Pirates of the Caribbean, although I think he was good. He's just not as good as Legolas or Balian in Kingdom of Heaven. So I just really enjoy this film. I think it's very fair to both sides. Although I could see now it's a little bit anti-Crusader to a degree that I think is unfair. I think it could be a little bit more neutral. It does present the Crusaders as like the sole bad guys, as if there wasn't bad stuff happening on either side. And I think that's a little unfair. It does romanticize Saladin, which is typical of the West and is fine. The only thing that could have made this movie better if Richard got more than a 5-second cameo on screen. But like for a long time, this has been my favorite movie besides Lord of the Rings. It's basically tied with Last Samurai. I think I'm going to put it at the top just because it has been. I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it since I was in Jerusalem with Jake, but excellent movie. Top of SS tier. And that concludes our tier list, guys. This was a longer one. We knew it would be, but we cut out all the stuff. I think this could be below 50 minutes. I undoubtedly missed a few movies, even some few movies that I like. Definitely missed a lot of low tier ones. Just so forgettable or don't want to mention them. And I don't want to just spend the whole tier list talking about movies I hate. I'd rather talk about movies I love. Anything in A tier, very, very good. S tier, excellent. SS tier, this is God tier movies. So, with that being said, that concludes our tier list of historical movies. So that's it. What do you guys think of this tier list? Let's let you hear it in the comments and in a poll we'll do on stream. And then we will finish our giveaway. Where do you if you disagree, let me know what you disagree about. W tier list, they say. Okay. Not too much to debate. Next, we have the giveaway, and the winner is Agent. I accidentally picked 2. Kaiser, you did not win. Sorry. I double-clicked. Agent. You are the winner. Although Kaiser, we'll give you one too. Agent and Kaiser. But just because we like Kaiser. Congratulations, Agent and Kaiser. Weapon skins of your choice. They don't even know they won. Well, that makes it easy for me. Redo giveaway, he says. I don't think so. What now, Nathandir? Don't worry. We're still gaming. I just need a brief intermission. When we're back, we will be doing our next giveaway. So do not go anywhere. Next giveaway, we go back. See you guys soon. Next giveaway after. What do you mean rip? You got it, dude. Get your prize. Omar, why you put this guard up here? It respawns so quick. You set the respawn time to 3 seconds. Favorite sport? Hockey. Maybe lacrosse too. You still get your free skin? I said you could. Can you not hear me? You guys not hear? I said 3 times you could get your skin. Maybe even 4 times. Make envoy. Pull up to crack. Might take you up on that. Hello?
Wow, they invited me there just to assassinate me. Bot doesn't matter, man. Am I not? I blocked that. Nice ping, man. Good ping.
It was raging. Hey, Kiani. We did it. I'm gonna take a little break. Might be on the stream later. Some Dark Souls. Let you guys know. Thanks for coming. Lastly, the Twitch giveaway is Sir Kaiser. You've won 2 giveaways. So you get a helmet of your choice and a weapon of your choice. Congrats, Kaiser. Thanks for tuning in on Twitch. We'll see you guys next time.